InterMiamiCF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or InterMiamiWear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where Inter Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
This is the Big O Show. 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 This is.
Sports fans love a place with great food, cold drinks, and TVs everywhere. That's why sports fans love Sports Grill and their 7 amazing locations. Check out the Bird Road location at 11481 Southwest 40th Street in the back corner of the West Bird Shopping Center. Sports Grill is also now offering some great employment opportunities. All kinds of positions are now available from kitchen to hosting. Call for more information at 305-485-8845. From wraps to salads to amazingly delicious specialty dishes, Sports Grill is the home to the legendary special grilled wings. Since 1987, Sports Grill, good food, good drink, and good friends.
This is the Big O Show.
For over 16 years, EJDConstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDConstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDConstruction.com.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
Yo, you tuned in to the hottest sports radio show with Orlando, a.k.a. the Big O. He covers all the South Florida teams, from the Dolphins to the Heat. Well, you know what I mean. Monday to Friday, Friday Pablo in the Big O show. Oh, on the radio, the top's where we gonna go. Miami, that's the way we roll. Locked on the morning show, Big O. No one has a similar show. Talk sports, talk plays, talk live and direct. Because nobody do it better than Big O in the set. From sunrise, listen live, it's the best of the best. He's got the fans, got the heat, he's the best of the best. Big O, the only talking sports with a style.
Break it, I'm on in. It's Big O-N. Thank you for tuning in, keeping me glued in. Stay tuned because right here's where the woman's in. Same place because right here some of them begin. Simply call and just state your opinion. Real talk, sport talks, the Big O show. Yeah, you love it, yeah, you like it. Call him and let him know.
Coach and Probably Pablo. You know, now introducing the man of the hour. Big O, a.k.a. Orlando Russell Gary. Yeah.
All righty. Yes, sir. Welcome aboard. It's a beautiful thing. It's a Tuesday. Hope you all are doing well out there. Thank you all. Hope you had a great 4th of July weekend. Some of you were probably still enjoying your weekends yesterday because Monday was a holiday, so maybe you didn't have time to join us because maybe you were vacationing, having a good time with the family. So welcome back. Thank you for joining us. We did have a really good crowd yesterday joining us. I guess a lot of people use their off time to join us. And once again, I got to thank you all for the downloads have been absolutely amazing. And thank you all for your smashing the like button, whether it's podcast, you're commenting, all that kind of stuff. We really appreciate it because that gets everything going and gets that algorithm going and all that good stuff. GP Trap Hewitt, we're gonna put your Batman over here, but the problem is, where is it? You see this logo here? I'm sorry, this logo here. Damn it. This one here gets in the way of the Eiffel Tower. So we're going to eliminate this logo here and we're going to open that space up so we can see there. Plus, we don't really need it because we got another logo up here, right? So we don't need two of them. So we're going to eliminate that. But these are the little tweaks that we're adding. As you saw, with the way we opened the show today was a little different than the regular, countdown, all of that. So, it's little by little by little by little, we will continue to improve the show. And for those of you that weren't with us yesterday, Manny Navarro is part of the family now. I mean, he's always been part of our family here on our station. Whatever station I've ever been on, Manny Navarro has always been, a friend and always joining us. But he is now exclusive to us because he is an insider now. How about this? Our show has Ira Winderman as the Heat insider. We've got Omar Kelly as the Dolphin insider, and we've got Manny Navarro as a Canes insider. That's pretty damn good, man. I got to tell you, that's a hell of a threesome. Let me see. I'm sorry. There we go. Okay. So that's a hell of a threesome, and Manny will join us at 12:30 today. Manny will be 12:30s Tuesdays and Fridays, and it's great that we got him today because we got that whole thing from not Top Rank. What is it? American Top Team. They have made an incredible, I would say, statement of support for the Canes football program. We'll get into that story because that's a really interesting story, and it has so much to it. I mean, really, it's kind of cool for the players right now, but there's so much more that I want to get into with that. So we'll definitely talk about that here on the program. So today, Alex Winley is going to join us. I have gotten to not personally know Alex Winley, but gotten to know her on Twitter. I've heard her on with Alex Dono also. I think she does a really good job of talking about the inner team. So we've got Inter and Marlins going on, right? So we got to address those kind of teams. Today we will address a little Inter Miami at noon. So Alex Winley is going to join us. And then we'll have, of course, our Caneswear Miami Hurricanes report with Manny Navarro. That will be also at 12:30. So we've got a loaded second hour with a couple of guests. In this hour, we got a ton of things that we want to tackle and talk about here on the show. Got all kinds of sound to share with you, of course. And remember, you can always support all of us here on the show. You can also support us through Cash App. You can follow the show on Twitter. You can follow it on Instagram at Big O Radio Show and Cash App, Cash Big O Show. That's the best way to support us. I know we have the Super Chat, but the Super Chat, YouTube takes 30% of that. So you guys gave me a great idea. So we got the Cash App going. You can send us support through there at Cash Big O Show. Remember to smash the hell out of that like button, and that is so important. Smash it on the podcast, smash it on YouTube. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the show. That's also incredibly important for the algorithms and everything else out of all of that. So thank you all, and share the link to the show, whether it's the podcast, whether it's the YouTube link. That way, other fans of the Heat and the Dolphins and the Marlins and the Panthers and the Canes and InterMiami and all of that, they know about this show that talks and is really and truly dedicated to the local sports scene. So we got a lot of things going on, especially with the show. We got a lot of things that we're working on too on the show. So slowly but surely we'll go building it up. I mean, compared to where we were from the first couple of days to where we are now, it's already night and day, and hopefully we'll continue to get better. We thank all the folks already hanging out on the chat board there. We see several people already on watching on the live chat. Steve Chapman checked in early on. He was the first one. John Rouse is in the house. NorCal is asking, is it 4:20 yet? NorCal, you got 5 hours and 12 minutes till you get to 4:20, and then you can have fun. But I'm sure you're already having fun. You're not waiting till 4:20. You're probably going, it's 4:20 somewhere in the world. Like they say, it's 5 o'clock somewhere in the world. Omar Lopez is in. John Santos. Ian from Brooklyn. GP Trap Hewitt. There we go. I got it out of the box, GP Trap. So it's there. Our Batman. You know, I had it in the box yesterday. I didn't want to take it out of the box, but GP Trap says, no, take it out of the box. So he added this Batman to our collection, but this is my kind of Batman because it's a Batman with a guitar. So the Batman is a rocker, and that's, my kind of Batman, of course. So we will put it closer to the Eiffel Tower once we take out this logo right there. I'm going to take that logo out, and then when we can put the new frame up, we'll move the Batman out of there. Matt Walker is in. Max Support, Love and Life here. Raging Dolphin Maniac, Bromar Smelly, Tommy and Hialeah. Jimmy is a bad dude. The butler did it. You're going with the whole Rachel Nichols thing. So bad. Ray is in. Howdy, Big O. Everybody happy we avoided the first storm. If you live in Dade or Broward, thank God. Yeah, the West Coast now. We got to worry about our friends in the West Coast of Florida. They're the ones that are going to, unfortunately, have to deal with this crap. Ray is in. Howdy, Big O, everybody. Let's see. Pipeman Slim, Lisa Rose, Herman Cueva, Troy Ortiz. Thank you all out there. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Even Herman was cool enough to tell Lisa good luck to her sons tonight. Vikin Bastijan just stepped in, and Nico Jones stepped in, and he reminds everybody to smash the hell out of that like button. So already a bunch of folks are chiming in on the YouTube chat board. Remember, the email is always there. So if you want to send me, a comment, a question, a demand, an insult, a picture, a link, whatever it is, it's Big O Radio Show at yahoo.com. That's Big O Radio Show at yahoo.com. That's the way you want to reach us. Alex Winley will join us at noon. And then Manny Navarro, of course, with our Caneswear Miami Hurricanes report. And that'll be at 12:30. And visit Brett and all the great people out there at Caneswear, 2511 South University Drive in Davie. I should have a date or dates of when we'll be out at Caneswear this month and when we'll be out at Acura also next month, because we start in Acura next month. That'll be in August when we start with Acura. So we will tell you all of that information also here on the program. Marlins, they end up winning last night. They beat the Dodgers, man, 5-4. Still 11 games under 500. Alfaro hit the big home run in the 8th inning to break the tie. His 3rd home run of the year. Trevor Rogers, the All-Star, went 5 innings, allowed 6 hits, 2 earned runs, 8 Ks, 2.22. Used to be a TV show. Well, it's also the ERA for Trevor Rogers. Anthony Bender with a Yee-me, having pitched the last couple of nights. Bender went out there and picked up his first save of the year. He's got a .68 ERA, 1 inning, 1 K. So nice job by Bender. It'll be game 2 tonight. Tony Goslin and Pablo Lopez towing that slab. The bad news is Sixto Sanchez ends up getting shoulder surgery. I think Craig Mish and McPherson were on top of that story. So Sixto is done for the year. Apparently, he felt something there in his rehab. He had already a setback before, and then he was feeling discomfort. So they found a small tear in the posterior capsule of his right shoulder. So now he is going to season-ending surgery. So this is not the season we were hoping for Sixto Sanchez, because he really needed this season for experience purposes and to be able to, move forward here overall and build his arm up and build the experience up and, of course, entertain the hell out of us, because Sixto Sanchez has got some nasty, nasty, nasty stuff, man. He is absolutely awesome. I love Sixto Sanchez. I love watching him play. It's a real shame. And listen, I know it's nice to hear that they're trying to sign starting Marte to a contract. I listen. He's a solid player. He's a good player overall. I know we need to see them spend a little more, but you got to start somewhere. And where we need them to go, they're not doing it this year anyways. So you got to at least look and analyze where you're at right now, and then what move can we make that's positive for the future. And I think signing Marte is definitely a start, and hopefully next season they will add at least a couple more bats in free agency. And look, I know they're not going to be spending Dodgers money and Cubs type money and Red Sox type money. That's not what they're going to be. But they still, if you're going to compete in this league, you need to at least spend something out there, and you need to go out and buy a couple players overall. You're not going to be able to draft and develop an entire team. So if you're hoping to catch lightning in a bottle like they did in 03, like the Royals did a few years back, I mean, you're asking a lot to end up capturing everything and all the luck in one season. And then that also means that you really don't have what it takes to end up, putting together a real winner. And that's a real problem. But for now, I have no problem watching the Marlins and watching the development of some of these young cats. I just hope that the owners step up a little bit more in the offseason to listen. You want to give us hope as a fan base. That's really what it's all about, because as entertaining as it is to watch Sandy and to watch Pablo pitch and to watch Trevor pitch, you know what I mean? And we were hoping that we would get Sixto in the mix. And yes, it's fantastic to watch those guys play, but we want to see them win. And you also want to feel as a fan like you have some hope and you have a shot. With the Marlins, unfortunately, you have no shot, no hope. I don't care what happened last year in the bubble. That was a fluke thing. It's 60 games. Anything can happen in baseball in 60 games. Baseball's a really wacky sport, but in 162 and then the playoffs, that's not the same way. It's just, that's not going to be the same kind of scenario that they had last year in the bubble, that just one little streak can put you right in the middle of the thick of things, and you can end up getting into the playoffs. One little bad streak and you're completely out of it in a 60-game schedule. 60 games in baseball is garbage. You know what I mean? You don't really get a good feel for anything in baseball in 60 games. And so last year was a complete fluke, a complete aberration. This year is more of the reality. And, you're on pace to lose somewhere in the 90s. You can't do that again. Next year, you can't come back with the young guys and say we're in development and all that, because now you're talking about year 4, and people are saying, well, wait a minute, this is the 4th year of this ownership group, and they're not spending any money, and you're going to get less and less people to go to the park. You'll get less people. I mean, it's already a small group as it is. Yeah, and they've already alienated you as it is, and they don't believe in you, and they don't trust you, and all of that. And all you're going to do is feed into that whole image that the Marlins have. So it's really, really important that the Marlins spend something next year, because if they don't, then they're going to end up really losing their fan base. And anybody that gave Jeter a chance is going to say, you know what, we're off. we're done. We're not going to do this anymore. And so that's what you got going on with the Marlins. So hopefully they will spend a little money when it's all said and done. We've got the Rachel Nichols situation going on now. And Rachel apologized yesterday. She apologized yesterday. We talked about this yesterday. The situation and the bad look, obviously, for Rachel Nichols. And she had to apologize. I mean, if she doesn't apologize, then it was already a terrible look as it is for her. The apology, and let's hear the apology from Rachel Nichols.
So the first thing they teach you in journalism school is don't be the story. And I don't plan to break that rule today or distract from a fantastic finals. But I also don't want to let this moment pass without saying how much I respect, how much I value our colleagues here at ESPN, how deeply, deeply sorry I am for disappointing those I hurt, particularly Maria Taylor, and how grateful I am to be part of this outstanding team.
Now, listen, the problem with all of this is she got busted. And when you're vindictive, can you be apologetic? Can you all of a sudden say, oh, no, I'm no longer vindictive? I'm no longer resentful. I'm no longer pissed about the decision. There's a level of phoniness to all of this with Rachel. Unfortunately, that's just the way it comes off. Whether Rachel means this, if she truly means this, it's going to get lost in the translation. It's going to get lost in the delivery. It's not going to connect. It's just something that will not be accepted overall, because people are just going to say, well, this is, corporate ESPN talking with their employee. Hey, listen, we got to put out an apology, this and that, because poor Maria Taylor, she's caught in the middle of all of this. And meanwhile, she's there because of her talent. She's really good, man. She's super likable. She knows her stuff. She sounds incredibly professional. You know what I mean? Forget about the looks. I know, and yes, she's got great looks. Forget about all of that. It has nothing to do with why she's got the gig. She's got the gig because she's good, man. She's got the gig because maybe the ESPN people said, yeah, no, I think that's a better move for us to put her there instead of Rachel. And maybe Rachel couldn't handle it. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Not maybe. Rachel couldn't handle it. And so then she's whining, complaining, and all that. And let me tell you something. The dude that she was complaining to, Adam Mendelson, okay? Adam Mendelson, he came out with his own apology. But again, this is kind of phony too when you come out with this apology, because this is LeBron's PR advisor, by the way. And LeBron's PR advisor is the guy that, kind of said, he said he was tired of the all Me Too movement and Black Lives Matter stuff, right? And he said, I made a stupid, careless comment rooted in privilege, and I'm sincerely sorry, he said. I shouldn't have said it or even thought it, but you did. You said it and you thought it. And those of you that have followed this show for a long, long time, I've told you this over and over and over again. When somebody is hateful, okay? If they're hateful, then, and they come back to you and then they say, oh, I apologize. That wasn't me. No, that was you. You said it. You said this about whatever, Hispanics, Asians, blacks, whatever, you name it, okay? Gays, whatever. We could just go on and on and on, all the hateful things that we hear about the different class of people that are out there, right? We hear this all the time. And then you hear the person come back and try to apologize for everything that they said. And that in itself also becomes, in a way, insulting, because it's not real. It's not true. And so this guy Mendelson, who's apologizing, again, and I wonder how LeBron's going to take this, because this is a guy, well, yeah, the Me Too movement and the Black Lives Matter stuff. And, he's kind of dissing all of that. So here's where the phoniness for me just doesn't check the boxes. It just doesn't resonate. And I it's hard for me to believe you that you're actually being sincere and that you mean it, that this bothers you, that you said it, what you said, you really didn't mean it. And I think, Rachel Nichols meant it. I really do. And I don't know how many of you out there followed up with this, but Mariah Rose, okay, which I don't expect you to know who the hell Mariah Rose is, because I did not know who Mariah Rose is. Mariah Rose is the daughter of Jalen Rose, okay? So Mariah came out and talked about the Rachel Nichols, Maria Taylor
Let's
situation.
quickly talk about Miss Rachel Nichols. Maria Taylor knows what a generational talent she is in the broadcasting world, so I don't even got to go there and hype her up. Let's talk about the fact that she actually played basketball. And if you want to go there, let's go there. Let's talk about how you're related to Diane Sawyer, arguably the queen of ABC. Nah. You got your job as one of the faces of ESPN because you're so entertaining and talented and so good at it, right? You are a woman in the sports world, and you sat there and you laughed about the Me Too movement, about your fellow women complaining about being sexually assaulted at work. You think that's funny? What really got me is you're tired of the Black Lives Matter movement because you weren't tired about posting about it or making your stupid little storybook monologues about it. Maybe instead of crying and calling Maria a diversity token, you can direct that energy to the people who think there can only be one woman on that stage. And if we're being real, Rachel Nichols is a subpar reporter. Subpar, boring, not great. I'm sorry your white privilege didn't work this time. Maybe next time.
Wow. I mean, that girl annihilated Rachel, and this is how she's going to come off. This is how it's going to come off. What are you going to do? She just looks phony in this whole thing. I feel so bad for Maria Taylor, because Maria Taylor is thrown into the middle of all of this, and the woman's doing nothing but working her ass off and making a name for herself, and she's a pro's pro. And she's not slamming anybody, yet people are playing the race card, they're slamming her, they're using the sexuality thing to all of it. It's crazy, man. It's sad, actually, because she's got to be in the middle of all of this. This won't end well for Rachel. This won't end well for Rachel. This will probably be the end of her run, kind of the way it was for Michelle Beadle. Same thing. It's just a look that ESPN will not be able to overcome now. And I know that there's that other stuff that they're throwing out there, that the whole Jimmy Butler thing, that she was hooking up with Jimmy Butler in the bubble and this and that. And listen, man, I'm not, that's all people just having fun. And I have no idea. None of us have any real proof of anything like that. The woman's married. She's got kids. I don't want to get into any of that kind of stuff, because I don't have any. There's actually no proof out there. You know what I mean? We've got people that make all kinds of accusations around the country with zero proof. If you know what I'm talking about, I'm not going to get into that, because it's just, it's silly. It's people screwing around, because now they're piggybacking. But this is what's going to happen now to Rachel. Rachel is now going to get a lot of negativity because of this. And in her apology, she said she didn't want to be a part of the story, but she became a part of the story. And listen, it's her fault for not knowing that the camera was on and that she was being recorded and that other people were hearing it. So she was taking shots at her employer, taking shots at Maria Taylor, taking shots at the obviously at the Me Too movement, like Mrs. Rose was just talking about now, and the whole Black Lives Matter thing, and picking Maria because she's a woman and she's black, so they can check off two boxes. And it's really insulting. That's the other thing that Rachel, I'm sure she's going to, she realized then, but now that she got exposed, nationally, you're slamming Maria Taylor, almost assuming that it's all about race and sex, why she was picked. Well, she's a woman and she's black. It's two boxes we check. It's our diversity thing. It'll make us look good. Let's put her in there. Or maybe they're putting her in there because she's damn good, dude. She's really good at driving the show. And she knows her stuff too. That's the other thing. I mean, listen, we've gotten to the point already, I think, in life. 20 years ago and 40 years ago and 50 years ago, I get the sexist stuff. And I'm sure there's a certain section of some of you out there, men, that probably don't want to hear a woman break down any kind of sport. I don't want to hear a woman. But there's a lot of us that we have been accepting of women in sports to be able to, talk about it and break it down and all that kind of stuff. And I think we've grown to respect, the Linda Cohns of the world. You know what I'm saying? That we, over the years, Andrea Kramer, and we got to know some of the women that really set the table, and Susie Kolber is one that she knows her stuff. Diana Rossini. I really enjoy Diana Rossini. I love her enthusiasm for what she does. It comes through the damn screen every single time. She's one of my favorites because of her passion, in a way, for doing what she does. So I think a lot of us have, accepted it. Some of you have had to change, and you've accepted it because women have grown up, and you've realized, hey, you've grown up, they've grown on you, and those kind of things. But I think over the years, we've become more accepting of women on the air. And we have to also get to the point where we say, well, she's getting that job not because she's a hottie, because she can actually do the damn job. And that's exactly what's going on with Maria Taylor. She's getting that job because she's really, really good at it. And she deserves that job. But what she doesn't deserve is all this bullshit, man. She doesn't deserve any of this BS, bro. She's caught up in all of it. I can't imagine what her timeline is with all these racist idiots, obviously. And, lately they've been given, over the last few years, racist people have been given the green light to come on out publicly and be racist. You know what I'm saying? And so I can't imagine what her timeline is like and the crap that people are saying, because she doesn't deserve one bit of it, but it doesn't matter. The person that only sees color, that ignorance will carry them to whatever direction they want to go in and want to try to convince themselves. You know what I mean? But I felt bad, but I will say Mariah Rose. And let's hear it one more time. Mariah Rose ripping into Rachel Nichols.
Let's quickly talk about Miss Rachel Nichols. Maria Taylor knows what a generational talent she is in the broadcasting world, so I don't even got to go there and hype her up. Let's talk about the fact that she actually played basketball. And if you want to go there, let's go there. Let's talk about how you're related to Diane Sawyer, arguably the queen of ABC. Nah. You got your job as one of the faces of ESPN because you're so entertaining and talented and so good at it, right? You are a woman in the sports world, and you sat there and you laughed about the Me Too movement, about your fellow women complaining about being sexually assaulted at work. You think that's funny? What really got me is you're tired of the Black Lives Matter movement because you weren't tired about posting about it or making your stupid little storybook monologues about it. Maybe instead of crying and calling Maria a diversity token, you can direct that energy to the people who think there can only be one woman on that stage. And if we're being real, Rachel Nichols is a subpar reporter. Subpar, boring, not great. I'm sorry your white privilege didn't work this time. Maybe next time.
George says, I agree, but I wouldn't call it white privilege, perhaps just privilege because of who she's related to. No, George. She used color. In that conversation with Mendelsohn, she used color. She made it sound like, well, her bosses wanted to check off two minorities with one fell swoop, that she's black and that she's female. And that they're, nervous about their what's the term? Their racial balance or their gender equity balance or whatever it is. So she checks multiple boxes. She made it sound that way. She made it sound that way. So it does come off as white privilege for her. And listen, when Mariah throws the Diane Sawyer thing, and that Rachel is obviously related to Diane Sawyer, and she's had, several jobs in that company, even in news, and then she was in sports, then went to news, and then came back to sports and all that kind of stuff. So, that's where the white privilege stuff gets tied to. You cannot play the race card and then not call it white, because it's kind of what she says. It's kind of what she's going with. You know what I mean? Just like if you could say somebody is being hired because they're black, well, then you can also flip it and say, well, I deserve it because I'm better and I'm white and I deserve to be in that spot and all that kind of crap. And that's the way maybe it's not what it is, but it's what I told you earlier. Nobody's going to take her apology seriously. Nobody is going to accept it. Nobody is going to believe that she's really being, that she actually is really sorry about what she actually said or how she feels. And then when you throw out those comments, it's going to come off like white privilege. And because you're Diane Sawyer's, family, it's going to come off like more of that kind of privilege. That's the problem. It's the perception that ends up coming out of it. And some of it will be white privilege, whether it's right or not, but it's going to come off that way. Guaranteed. Let's see. What else do we have? Is Ms. Rose Jalen Rose's daughter? Yes, I said that. Yes. What else do we have here? Good point. Missed that, Big O. Rigo says, quick Google search, Mariah Rose is Jalen's. Yes, it is. Okay. Sounds like someone snitched on poor Rachel. Sounds like the recording was like a vendetta on her. No, Rosendo, there was no vendetta on her. She left it recording. Okay? She should have known that it was recording. And in the end, there's no vendetta, dude. There's not. You said it. You feel it. That was your honest opinion, Rachel. That Maria Taylor was not getting the job because she deserved it, because she was talented enough. No, she's getting the job because she's black and she's a woman. So ESPN needed to fill two boxes. So they screw her, because that's the way she looks at it, to fill an agenda. So no, man, I disagree with you. That's what I'm saying. This is going to be a terrible look for her, and it's going to be a permanent stain on her because it looks very hateful, unfortunately. And you can apologize all you want, but you're going to look like a stinking phony for apologizing. By the way, Maria Taylor's contract was coming up in 2 weeks, so she released this tape. No, she didn't. She didn't release the tape. It was somebody else that did it a while back. It's a producer that released it. Okay? Producer sent it to Maria, sent it to Deadspin. This is a while back. It's just that it's the audio's resurfaced now is what's happened because of the whole Maria Taylor thing. So this is just one that is not, she's not going to live this down, unfortunately. And ESPN will end up parting ways with her. I can guarantee you that that's what's going to end up happening. And again, I would disagree with vendetta. She set herself up, man. She set herself up. I mean, this is what it is. I mean, we just had a politician go out in front of people and admit that he wasn't paying taxes on things. You set yourself up. You set yourself up, man. You said it. It's just the way it is. You either got to be smart enough, or how about not being, hateful? And just, she's a host of The Jump. She does all kinds of things. To take that greed factor to the point that, oh, I'm the only woman that deserves this job and no other. And that's kind of what Mariah Rose was talking about. Like, oh, you're supposed to be the only woman on this platform, which, it's hard to argue. Again, this is how it's going to come off. It's going to come off like she's entitled to it. Nobody else is. Not Maria, not anybody else. So when you give it to somebody else, she was going to be pissed about it. And in Maria's case, she ends up using the color to all of it, which is just ridiculous, man. It's a shame. And by the way, I got nothing against Rachel Nichols. I don't know her from Adam. I think she does a really good job on the air. I love her passion for basketball. Okay, it seems like the players like her. It seems like she does get what's it called, insight from them at times. She's been able to break stories. She's been able to get insight from players that nobody else does. In a world where Woj gets almost everything, and it's Shams Charania or Woj getting pretty much everything in basketball, she would get some things. She would actually do a lot. So this is a person that's had a lot of success with all of this. Why not just be happy with that? Why take the greed factor to the max and be resentful of other people? You know what I mean? That to me doesn't make any sense, whatsoever. But this is what we got going on with Rachel Nichols. All right. Remember, you can reach out to us on Twitter at Big O Show. You want to reach out to us on Yahoo. Our email is Big O Radio Show at yahoo.com. Everything pretty much is Big O Radio Show. The YouTube, Instagram, podcasting, you find everything under Big O Radio Show. Only Twitter is Big O Show is the only thing. So everything else, you want to subscribe, Big O Radio Show. Remember, I can't remind you enough to hit the hell out of that like button. All right, please hit that like button. It's huge. Nico says both Rachel and Adam Mendelson are phonies. Got caught taking the opposite positions. They play in public. Boom. That's it. That's exactly how it's going to come off, Nico. Neither one of their apologies is going to mean jack shit. It's not going to mean anything, and people are going to look at it like you're just a phony and you're lying. That's the way people are going to look at it, unfortunately, but that's just the case. What are you going to do? What else do we have go? By the way, how about that story with the Columbus Blue Jackets goalie? Kid's 24 years old, I think I saw. Are you kidding me, man? And what was it? It's a Matthias Kivalinesk or something like that. I'm not sure. I'm sorry if I didn't pronounce the name right, but he had a fireworks accident, and it was because of chest trauma. It was a mortar blast. I mean, that's not the way you want to go. And how does this happen? I was sitting there with my wife last night when we're hearing the story, and I go to read about it a little bit more, try to how in the hell how does a mistake happen that somebody gets hit with a mortar in the center of their chest on 4th of July? Well, how is that possible? Man, wow, that's just disturbing, dude. I saw that story, and for those of you that don't know about it, it's a Blue Jackets goalie that unfortunately the kid ends up suffering just a terrible accident and ends up passing away because of it. And at first it was reported like he fell and hit his head and all of that, but then the truth finally came out, and it was that the dude got hit by a mortar blast. That sounds like something that you would be, trapped in war, not during 4th of July. I mean, seriously, the 4th of July, this is where you end up dying? That makes no sense whatsoever. I'll read you the story here so you can check it out. Mishap involving fireworks on the 4th of July took the life of Columbus Blue Jackets goalie Matisse Kivalinkis or something like that. First responders in Oakland County, Michigan rushed to the scene on Sunday night where they found the 24-year-old injured. The Blue Jackets said in a statement he had succumbed to his injuries soon after help arrived, although an early statement from the Blue Jackets said initial information showed he suffered a head injury. A representative from the Oakland County Medical Examiner's Office told ABC that the cause of death was chest trauma from a fireworks mortar blast. The manner of death was ruled accidental, according to the medical examiner. The investigation is ongoing, according to police. I just want to know, how does this become an accident? I cannot comprehend this, how this becomes an accident. You mean there's actually somebody saying, oops, I'm sorry? I don't get this. What would you do? Did you purposely aim at this person? That is a twisted story, man. That's one that just leaves me floored. Like, are you kidding me? And he's 24. It's like what we're watching now in Surfside with the building, and sadly they found a few more bodies. I think they're up to 32 now. But when you see a child and you see young people, you know what I mean? Not that I want anybody to pass away, but if any of us pass away and we're 75 and 80, 85, 90, we got a pretty good life in, you know what I'm saying? I think once you get past 75, you got to kind of say, wow, I'm super blessed here. Way to go. Wow, I'm still around. You know what I mean? In this world. And what I'm 20 years from that only. It's nothing. But anyway, I just hope I could get there, by the way. I just wish I could get to 75. But I mean, you see young people pass away and it just crushes your heart, man. Kids, I mean, when they were showing that building and you would see those bunk beds, it would drive me crazy. I think by the way, the story ended up being the person that lived in that apartment. There were no kids actually in that room or those bunk beds. So that was actually a good thing. But we all know that we have seen children part of this tragedy. And when you see this with this young hockey player and the kid is 24, it just, yeah, I mean, some of us don't you, when you see something like that, you're sitting there going, damn, I'm in my 40s, I'm in my 50s, I'm in my 60s, and I am so blessed to be here still. And yet this poor child at 15 was caught in the middle of gunfire. This other child was run over. This other child, whatever. And you see this other child part of a building tragedy, and you just wonder why. Why do we lose people like this? 24 years old to die that way is just mortifying, man. It really is. Don't forget, reach out to us here. You can also support the show with a little Cash App, folks. Cash App is the way to also support our show. Give us 30 seconds. There are many ways to support our program, from subscribing and liking the show to visiting our terrific sponsors. Another way is using Cash App. If you would like to donate to the show and help us grow, download Cash App and search Cash Big O Show. That's Cash Big O Show. We appreciate your support as we continue to build the best sports show on the planet for South Florida sports fans. Support the Big O Show by using Cash App and donate to Cash Big O Show. Thank you for your incredibly loyal support. There you go. We back. Thank you. Had to drink a little bit here, so it's a good thing. Gives us a little break there. Every once in a while, we'll be able to do those kind of things because obviously we need to take a little bit of a break. It's talking for 1, 2, 2.5 hours straight. It could get a little challenging. So I appreciate all of you out there, as always, for hanging in there with us. And don't forget to smash the hell out of that like button. Really appreciate that. Remember, we talked about the Dodgers and Trevor Bauer. You see that they suspended him. I talked about it last week, that it was a joke. Right when I talked about it that day, later on in the afternoon, they decided to suspend him until further notice and the investigation. And they finally came to their senses. I wonder what people think sometimes. I wonder what Major League Baseball and the Dodgers were thinking that, oh no, yeah, let's pitch him. Are you kidding me? Did you see that woman? Did you see those pictures? Even if she wanted to have some rough sex, the fact that he did that is sick and twisted, man. I'm sorry. If there's a woman that's, oh, I want you to slap me and bruise me and beat me up, and no, sweetheart, go find somebody else. That's no. I don't get off on beating on women. It's not my cup of tea. Go ahead. But the fact that Trevor Bauer was willing to do it and he doesn't deny that he got rough with her, and so that's the problem. You don't know how rough, but it looks pretty damn bad when you look at that those pictures. It's pretty gross. So nice to see that it looks like it's going to be an extended suspension, which it should be. The guy should be thoroughly investigated. He should go to some kind of treatment or something like that. He certainly needs it, because if he was willing to do that to another human being, then that tells me you got some problems, dude. Okay? Because if that's what you need in order to get off, I don't know, man. There must be some other demons going on in your world. Okay? I'm telling you, something's going on with Trevor Bauer. Because personally, that is one of the more disturbing videos I have seen in more pictures that I have seen in a long, long time, and an incredibly disgusting story. Okay? Seriously, I don't listen. To each his own, but you can't treat women that way. You, even if they ask you for it, you cannot do that. And if you're a professional, player, if you're a CEO, if you're part of a big organization, a public organization or something, that makes it even worse. That magnifies it even more, because all of a sudden now you're not just putting yourself in trouble. You're not just making bad decisions for yourself, but now you're making bad decisions for the people that you represent. Listen, some guy that is shoveling coal in the middle of a mountain and works in some small town and nobody knows, and he and his girlfriend, wife, or friend or whatever get crazy, nobody's going to care. But if you're a public figure and you're a politician, you're a musician, you're an actor, you're an athlete, you're, part of something big, you work for IBM, you work for Tesla, whatever, and you're whatever, that's more people are going to care about what your business is when it becomes public like that. And that kind of public, that's not going to be a look that your corporation is going to want to be associated with. That's why when I saw the Dodgers and Major League Baseball say, no, just let him pitch, don't worry about it, we'll continue, I'm like, what? This isn't a jaywalking ticket. This isn't, you were speeding at 75 in a 55 zone. You literally beat the hell out of a woman, even if she asked for it. That doesn't make any sense. It's crazy. But nice to see that at least they're going to do the right thing, and they're going to suspend this bastard, and hopefully he'll be out for quite a while. Okay? Alex Winley is going to join us at the top of the hour. She covers InterMiami, so we'll have a little fun. She's the host of the Heron Outlet. She does a little stuff for Lemon City Live, our boys. We love Lemon City Live. So we'll and she does a really good job. She knows her soccer, man. She knows her soccer, and that's why we're bringing her on, because she knows her soccer. And I'm looking forward to talking to her about this mess that's going on in Fort Lauderdale. Unfortunately, man, I was hoping that this year would be a better year. But this looks now like this year is going to end up worse than last year. That's scary. That's really disturbing that this season could be worse than last year. That's just unacceptable. Let's see. What do we have here on the chat board going on? Both Rachel and Adam Mendelson are phonies. I would agree with that. Apologies are meaningless without actions that support an apology. That's what NorCal says. At this point, I don't know if actions can make me change my opinion of Rachel or Mendelson. and their comments. I just think that even if they act, it's a phony act too that they're doing just to kind of save face. That's my problem. I believe a lot of these people that sometimes go to therapy or go talk or go to, they slam someone that's gay, and then they go to gay groups and attend and talk about it and all that. I believe that's also a lot of those people. They still feel the same way about gays. They're just going through the process because it's a PR move for them. That's all. Most of those people that are hateful, and if they're racist or they're anti-Semites or whatever it is, I think they're going to stay that way. I think they do some of those other things because it's a PR thing. They have to. Because if they don't, then they'll look completely like the racist that they are. You know what I mean? I think some people, of course, they are contrite. They really feel bad. They understand the kind of hurt that they delivered. But I think that's a small percentage. I think most of those, again, when you think that way, it's not, oops, I'm sorry. Oh, that's not me. No, that is you. All those Kens and Karens that we're watching on video now, and then they come back and apologize. Oh, that's not me. No, it is you. I hate that. Because if you don't have hate in your heart, then it's never going to come out of your mouth. You're never going to say anything about gays or blacks or Hispanics or women or you name it, whatever group that gets slammed every once in a while. It would never come out, but it comes out because it's kind of like when you're drunk. It's true serum. That's on your rage brings it out of you. That when you tell me after, oh, I'm sorry, that's not me. Get the hell out of here, bro. Go feed that crap to somebody else. That I'm not believing. That's my problem with all of this. I just don't believe it, man. I listen, man, I'm 54. I've been pissed with people plenty of times. I've always said this. Here's another example of why when there's hate out there, it's hate and the person can't get away from it, and whatever apologies, it's phony. If you could have an argument with somebody, okay, and you call them a jerk, an asshole, an idiot, whatever, that's fine. But when you call them an asshole, but you call them by describing who they are, who their sex is, what nationality, and you use that word before you used jerk, idiot, moron, asshole, you name it, that's all I need to know. That's all I need to know. Now I know who you are and where you stand, because we can all have arguments and we can all, oh, you're an idiot. But when you start saying, all right, well, you're a Cuban idiot. Well, then now I know you've got a problem with Cubans. Forget about the fact that I may be an idiot, I may not be, but you got a problem with it. You know what I mean? Once you start using the definition of who that person is on top of the insult, that's it. And don't tell me after, oh, I'm sorry, that's not who I am. No, dude, that's who you are. That's exactly who you are. You just got busted, and now you got exposed. So now you're doing anything possible to get this mess off your back, because now people know who you are. And so if some of you want to buy this BS that some of these people, spew, then go ahead. But me personally, I do not buy it. I cannot. Not whatsoever. All right, we're going to take a break. At the top of the hour, Alex Winley is going to join us now, and we'll talk a little Inter-Miami football, as Inter-Miami now struggling in a big-time way. They are going to take on the New York Red Bulls on Saturday. So let's take a quick break. We'll be back in 3 minutes, and we will talk to Alex Winley, and we'll break down everything going on with InterMiamiCF. For over 16 years, EJDConstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDConstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDConstruction.com.
This is the Big O Show.
There's many ways to support our program, from subscribing and liking the show to visiting our terrific sponsors. Another way is using Cash App. If you would like to donate to the show and help us grow, download Cash App and search Cash Big O Show. That's Cash Big O Show. We appreciate your support as we continue to build the best sports show on the planet for South Florida sports fans. Support the Big O Show by using Cash App and donate to Cash Big O Show. Thank you for your incredibly loyal support.
This is the Big O Show.
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
This is the Big O Show.
Sports fans love a place with great food, cold drinks, and TVs everywhere. That's why sports fans love Sports Grill and their 7 amazing locations. Check out the Bird Road location at 11481 Southwest 40th Street in the back corner of the West Bird Shopping Center. Sports Grill is also now offering some great employment opportunities. All kinds of positions are now available, from kitchen to hosting. Call for more information at 305-485-8845. From wraps to salads to amazingly delicious specialty dishes, Sports Grill is the home to the legendary special grilled wings. Since 1987, Sports Grill, good food, good drink, and good friends.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
All righty, it is hour number 2 starting off. We promised you we're going to talk a little Inter-Miami football. The boys are struggling in a big-time way. Alex Winley is not – oh, she was here for a second. There we go. Okay, she's popping back now. We got her back now. Alex Winley is going to join us now. We'll have some fun. We'll talk a little sports back here. We'll have some fun with Alex here. Let's bring her aboard. Here we go. Alex, good afternoon. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you, Orlando?
I am great. I cannot complain. You can follow Alex like I do. If you're an Inter fan, she's a must follow. Great insight, especially during the game. She's constantly breaking things down. AAW_1998. Although, Alex, the one thing I do want to ask you, it says you are a tattoo enthusiast. Okay. What is a tattoo enthusiast? Tell me.
I've been slowly but surely growing my my left arm
sleeve?
as a tattoo sleeve. Yeah, as a sleeve, yeah. I've been saving up for it. So yeah, I call myself a bit of a tattoo enthusiast. Yeah.
Okay. How many tattoos do you have on your arm already?
So far I have about 4. I got this one recently. So yeah, it's growing.
Okay.
It's growing.
Okay. What was that last tattoo that you just showed us? What was it?
Disney logo.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right, cool. All right, good stuff there. All right. So what's been your favorite tattoo that you've seen on somebody? How about that?
Honestly, I've been watching the Euros all this time in Italy. All of them have absolutely brilliant tattoos. Insigne, I rate a lot. Bonucci as well. Chiellini, not Chiellini. Excuse me, Immobile. He has a bunch of tattoos that I really like. So, I won't go that far getting that neck tattoos and stuff, but the sleeve I definitely do enjoy.
Yeah, I've never been a neck. I mean, I don't have any tattoos, but if I had a tattoo, the last place I'd get it is on my neck or on my face. Those are the
Yeah.
places that I gotta kind of stay away from it. Who was the basketball player that had like a $5 bill or something like that? It was
Uh,
I forget I forgot
I
the name
can't
of that.
recall.
He played for the Wizards. I know that. I remember that he
Huh.
played for the Wizards, but he had like a $5 and that thing was ugly, dude. It was just like, really, bro? What did you lose a bet or something? I don't know. I don't get it. All right, Alex, let's break it down. The painful part about this, Alex, you were expecting the team or hoping that the team would get better this year. I almost feel like they're in the middle of regression and that this season will be worse than last season. It kind of looks like that's what's happening.
It's certainly giving that impression. I wrote in my recent Lemon City Live piece that, compared to there's still some of the same issues that the team had last year that's coming into this year. And I know people are going to want to point fingers at the players, at Neville, but I think it's just the collective of everyone not doing their job. Neville could be tactically better, yes, but I don't think these DPs are doing enough. I wrote in my piece that Pizarro has 0 goals, zero assists this season. Blaise Matuidi, well, he's a World Cup champion. Yes, he's 34 and has regressed pretty poorly, and he's not the type of central midfielder Inter Miami needs in order to progress the ball into the final third. So there's just a lot of issues. There's a lot of players underperforming, like Lewis Morgan, for example. He's played nearly 1,000 minutes, but only has 1 goal, 1 assist. For someone who recently signed a new contract, he should be doing better. I know he's a fan favorite, but this team all around is underperforming. It's just poor. 5 straight losses, that's unacceptable.
Yeah, but here, with Lewis Morgan, it's almost because of what you did. You changed the style of play where you want because Neville is dead set on playing from the middle of the field, where you don't really have a midfielder that can really set people up. That's the reason why Higuain is a waste because
Yeah.
Higuain doesn't have somebody to set him up. And you're so right. Matuidi is an 11th man. He's not a DP. Pizarro is not a DP either at this point in time. So why not, if you're Neville, why not go back to playing from outside in? Because that's your better play with Lewis Morgan, because at least he has that knack of setting others up.
I think when Neville initially got to the club, I know if you heard his introductory press conference, he came here with a non-negotiable style of play. And before he came to Miami, I did some research on him with the England's women's national team. And if you look at the England's women's versus how Inter Miami is playing, there are totally two different styles. And dare I say, the England's women's had better players that understood what Neville wanted to do tactically in that squad. Inter Miami, he doesn't have the types of players that he wants to. Though Neville should do better. He should recognize as a coach, if it's not working out for your players, you should be able to tactically tweak things. But right now, I think it's a mixture of DPs underperforming, not having a proper central midfielder, not having a proper 10, and players underperforming.
And you make a great point, Alex, because he doesn't adjust very well lately. Because I mean, Federico in this last game, you brought him in like with 90 seconds left. 2 weeks ago, you brought him in at midway through the second half when I would have brought both him and Jones in right at the beginning of that second half. I don't. Some of the substitutions lately, I got to say, I have kind of disagreed with him, and the timing of when he has made some of these substitutions, I thought has been kind of off. I mean, to bring in Federico with 90 seconds left, why even bring him in at that point?
Yeah, I think Neville is throwing things at the wall and sees what sticks at right now. Inter Miami are in a bit of a free fall and they desperately need a win. End of. It doesn't have to be pretty. I wrote in my Lemon City Live piece that they need to grind out a result, period. Calvin Leardom did mention that he's been in situations like this with Seattle. I know Seattle is one of the bigger clubs in MLS and rarely do they ever lose, but there was a period in 2018 where they did lose a couple of games, and it was difficult for them. And Leardom did mention that he was in a situation similar to this. So as far as that goes, Inter Miami just needs to grind out results right now. Neville, start Federico, drop Pizarro, drop Higuain, drop Luis Morgan. I don't know, but he needs to find something.
And look, on the flip side, where I would defend Neville is he's inherited this mess.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
I can't blame him overall because he's trying to put pieces together that, unfortunately, Paul McDonough did just. I mean, I think he set the team back for a couple of years.
Paul McDonough. Yeah.
Right.
Yes. For sure. Paul McDonough. Yeah.
I mean, the Daryl DK move alone, set your franchise back, because this owner would not even send him to Barnsley. This owner would have kept him here so he can be his star and he can sell the team to fans and things like that, because that's what Moss probably would have done. But the fact that you had the first and the third pick and that kid fell to fifth and you passed on him twice, and then you look at the Matuidi move and you look at the Pizarro move, and how in the hell do you unload Pizarro now? And I mean, Alex, are they going to just outright have to cut Pizarro to then go add another DP? Is that the case?
Yeah, they're going to have to trim a couple of guys, especially with the sanctions coming up. I know guys like Nico Figal, Carranza, they are on some allocation money. I'm not completely sure of the MLS roster rules, but they are on a significant salary, and they're not really producing. Specifically, Carranza, he's a striker. He hasn't really scored or assisted any. Matuidi, that was a poor deal. He's not the type of central midfielder Inter Miami needs. Pizarro, I have heard reports that there are a couple of teams in Mexico interested in bringing him back.
But they're not going to pay that salary, Alex.
No, they're not going to pay what. Yeah, they're not. So right now, Inter Miami is going to have a difficult time offloading a couple of these guys, but there is a way. If Pizarro gets sold and they bring in an under 23 DP, according to the under 22 initiative that MLS recently announced, if Inter Miami were to bring in an under 23 DP, they will have 3 extra U22 initiative spots, which basically means they'll have about 4 or 5 players that they can help mold this roster around to get through those difficult periods. But Pizarro needs to be sold either this summer window or the winter window going into 2020 in order to fix this mess.
And Alex, you hit on it, because I've talked about this over the last couple of weeks. Because of the salary limitations now and the fines, because you're stuck with Pizarro, because you're stuck with Matuidi, you can't even, it'll be a PR nightmare after you made a move here, family, all that stuff, the investigation, and then you boot his ass out. That's not going to send a good message to other free agents about the Miami situation. So they're kind of going to have to be stuck with Matuidi another year or two. So the situation that you're in, you better go find some young, cheap guys that you can develop and turn into players, because if you don't, the shortcut of finding the proven veterans, that's going to be very limited because of your salary situation.
Yeah, for sure. I think Inter Miami came into MLS wanting to be Atlanta United. That's why they went after Paul McDonough. They wanted to have an immediate impact. They wanted to buy the stars. They wanted to get the young South Americans, sell them off to Europe, but they've fallen flat that so hard. And I'm very glad Moss made a very wise decision in hiring Chris Henderson this offseason, because Chris Henderson's a winner. He's played in South Florida with the Fusion. He knows this market. He's probably the perfect guy to fix this mess. It'll take a while, but Chris Henderson will definitely be the man to take this franchise forward. But it's going to be such a long road to get to a point where Inter Miami can consistently win and potentially challenge for MLS Cup.
Yeah, Alex, I am very well aware of Chris Henderson because I'm old enough in this business to have covered Chris Henderson when he was with the Fusion here 20 years ago. Your thoughts this week against the Red Bull? What do they have a shot? Because Alex, the schedule that's coming up here, they don't get any breaks. These, I hate to say it, they could lose the next. They've already lost 5 in a row, I think it is. They could lose the next 4 or 5 games here.
Yeah, for sure. I think hopefully by that time, Neville did confirm that Nick Marsman and Kieran Gibbs will be with the team before that game. So hopefully they'll get a couple training sessions in, bolster the left back.
Can they score?
Kieran Gibbs, depending on where Kieran Gibbs plays as a wing back, as a left back, but yeah, hopefully by then Robbie Robinson will be back, so they'll get some reinforcements on the left wing. Higuain will be fully fit, and I do think that Pizarro will be shoehorned back into the lineup because, well, they need to win. They need to win. And sitting your DP, albeit he is out of form, it looks bad. And Pizarro is an upgrade over Jay Chapman, who is not necessarily creative. So at this point, Neville needs to put in his fully fit, best starting 11 to just grind out a result to stop this bleeding.
Yeah, and by the way, the Robbie situation mishandled both times.
Yeah.
Not just one. Mishandled both times. And listen, if you've been in sports long enough, and I know I have because this is my 32nd year covering this, hamstrings can last you forever. And whenever you have a player that is suffering from a hamstring injury, you better let that player fully heal, because if not, that thing will linger forever. And that's what's happening right now with Robbie. Yeah, and I wonder where his confidence is too. That's the other thing that I worry about Robbie, because it's 2 years now of rough waters, as they say.
Yeah, I feel bad for him with the DK stuff. He's probably heard, oh, we should have gotten DK, passed on Robbie, whatnot. I do think he's a talented player. In college, he was an absolute brilliant soccer player. I think he just needs his confidence back. He needs to get fully fit. He needs to start scoring. He needs to start assisting. And once he starts doing that, I think Inter Miami will have a huge boost. Having what is he, like 6'1"? He's pretty quick. He's pretty physical. Inter Miami definitely needs that in their front attacking three.
Yeah, they have nobody like that. I mean, Higuain needs that actually also to open it up for him. Yeah, I'm with you there. Alex Winley does an excellent job. Follow her on Twitter at AAW_1998. And you can catch her with the Heron Outlet. She's the host and on Lemon City Live. Alex, thank you for taking some time. Look forward to doing it again. Appreciate the insight.
Thank you so much, Orlando.
We got it. There you go. Alex Winley, man. Good stuff there. Excellent stuff by Alex. She's a really good follow. I'm telling you, if you're a Inter Miami fan, you'll love her brutal honesty. That's what I love. When I see her tweets, I go, man, a young person that is, willing to say what the hell is going on right now on the pitch. And she is brutally honest. I love it, man. I really do. Devin Jordan, thank you, sir. He sent in a little super chat action. I appreciate you, my man. Thank you very much giving us a little love on the super chat. Remember, not only super chat, but you can also reach out to us. The other way is Cash App, and it's Cash Big O Show. Cash Big O Show. Jordan, thank you. Super chat.
No way.
Yes way. No way. Yes way.
They were fantastic.
Super chat. There we go. Thank you. And thanks to Alex Winley for joining us. Our Caneswear Miami Hurricanes report is coming your way at the bottom of the hour. We'll talk to Manny Navarro. We'll have a little fun with Manny. We'll get ready to talk some Canes with him here on the show. And there's a lot of things to talk about with the Canes, man. A lot of things, recruiting, and now we've got this story with American Top Team. So we'll get the latest from Manny Navarro and our Caneswear Miami Hurricanes report, which is coming up there at the bottom of the hour. How many of you are disappointed with Britney Spears? She has quit music. Britney's out, bitch. It's Britney, bitch. And I'm out of the music business. Not only Britney, by the way, her longtime manager, Larry Rudolph, also resigned. Come on, man. Free Britney already. Let her use her. So, you know what? This whole conservative thing, the conservative ship or whatever it's called, conservatorship or whatever it is for Britney. This is the part I don't understand. So she's healthy enough and normal enough to have her boyfriend and take care of her kids and hang out, enjoy life. And she's normal enough and everything to go work her ass off, right? Even with a fever, right? Supposedly she was doing shows. So she could go do a stay at Caesars. She can go tour. She can go make all kinds of money. She can go work on a reality show and all that, but she's not normal enough to use her own money? How does that make any sense? Where does a judge allow all that? That's the part that I don't understand about this. So she's normal enough to do everything else in life, but you can't have her run her own money. Dude, if she wants to blow her money, how many athletes do we see doing stupid things and they throw away all their money? Right? I mean, what's it called? This dude, uh man, what's the name of this guy? He films like 4,000 movies a year. Um, Give me the actor that's been in the most movies the last 25 years. What's his name? Con Air, the one with all the Elvises, oh, what's his name? Oh man, Valley Girl, I'm brain farting. I have his face there. Damn it. No, not Adam Sandler. This guy, Adam Sandler, hasn't been in a tenth of the movies that this guy is in. What's his name? Damn it. Come on, help me out. Nick Cage. Thank you. Damn, bro. Nicholas Coppola, right? Anyway, so Nick Cage, that guy's batshit crazy. That guy bought an island. I mean, that guy bought, I think he bought a pyramid also to bury himself or something like that a few years back. He went broke. He spent all his money. And that guy films a movie every month. Every month he's getting paid $20 million to be in a movie. Hell of an actor. Okay? I mean, I'm not going to take away anything from Nicolas Cage. Hell of an actor. I enjoy a lot of his movies. But that bastard's crazy. And he gets to spend all his money. I mean, give me a break, dude. Kanye West, doesn't he get to spend all his money? And for me, when it comes to Kanye West, both oars don't hit the water. The elevator doesn't go to the top floor. Okay? Kanye West and Nicolas Cage, they're a few sandwiches short of a picnic, and they get to use up all their money. That's the part I don't understand about the whole Britney Spears thing. This woman can work her ass off and do everything and earn all the money, but she can't spend it. And you're telling, well, no, you can only spend $2,000 a week, which I know in our world, we would love to spend $2,000 a week. But my point is, in her world, she's making millions of dollars, and they're like limiting what she can spend. How stupid is that? How insulting is that? So you can work your ass off, but we will manage your money. Oh, yeah, I'm sure they're really managing her money. You know what I'm saying? Man of 1,005 holds. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you giving us a little love on the Super Chat.
Wow. Recent research has shown
Super Chat
makes no sense.
Yeah, you're getting focused on all the wrong sort of details here. You need to forget about all the normal rules that apply to society.
Wasted no time. Super Chat. I thought it was really, 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 really cool.
You should all be very proud of yourself.
I have no response.
Super Chat.
That was perfect.
That's the way you do it.
Man of 1,005 holds says, just wanted to shout out to you, Big O, and everybody in the chat for motivating me. I start working tomorrow. It's been awesome being here. Hashtag never give up. Thank you, sir. I'm glad. Does it sound that is this like a new job for you? Congratulations if it is. Or I don't know if you were a little, set back, injured or something, and now you're back. But either way, man of 1,005 holds, thank you, sir. We really appreciate you chiming in with a little super chat. Thank you. And man, all the Nicolas Cages that came out there, thank you all out there for helping me out. It's just, you know what the hell you want to say, right? But then there's that moment where you just forget, okay, I see his face and all that, and I can't remember the damn name. And finally, and thank you all out there for helping out. I can remember his movies. I get all that stuff. But you brain fart and you forget the name. Bromar says, that crazy bastard would play Joker really well. LOL. Yeah. Yeah. Man of 1,005 holds says, it's a new job. Awesome. New job, new day, new pay. All right. Way to go. Enjoy yourself, my brother. Thank you. Thank you. I agree, Big O, on your assessment. Not going to lie, though, I miss the days of friendly ribbing that wasn't taken so personally. Archie Bunker, Sanford and Son, and the Jeffersons. Yes, I'm with you, but that was ribbing. That's like having fun with it, the Don Rickles way, and all that stuff that we would make fun of each other. You know what I mean? It's watching Richard Pryor on stage. I'm 1,000% with you there. But what we're talking about here isn't really, when we talk about the Rachel Nichols thing and those, that's not ribbing, bro. That's, that's just flat out hate. That's just flat out racism. Herman says, "Oh, have you experienced racism in your life? I hope not. I'm Latin, and I have experienced it in the U.S., especially in New York. I have. I've told this story many, many times. My second year in Mobile, I'm in the car and I'm driving somewhere, and I wasn't even speeding actually. They pull me over, and I asked him what were you pulling me over for, and he goes, you changed lanes on a solid line or some crap like that. And I was like, I didn't remember it, but I didn't argue. You know what I mean? Because the last thing you want to do is argue, right? Plus, I'm Hispanic and I'm being stopped by an Alabama state trooper. Anyway, so when I gave him the license, my man says, I didn't know the rafts floated that far. Yeah. So I kind of played it off, smiled a little, laughed, and I said, "Yeah, my arms are tired." And I said, "Yes, yes, sir." And this not he didn't give me a ticket, by the way. And I kind of played it off. But you think that he was trying to be funny, or do you think that he was really racist? You know what I mean? Because you see Orlando Alzuaray, and then you go, "Oh, I didn't know the rafts floated that far." So it's like, I missed the Keys. I got the Florida Straits, and then I was able to float all the way up to Alabama through the entire Gulf. My raft actually went through several oil rigs too at the same time. And then I got over to the swampy areas of Mississippi and Alabama. Yeah, cop said that to me. So yeah, I think any minority has faced some kind of racist or remark, and that I've had others too at the same time, and people are trying to be cute and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's happened. It's happened to all of us. What are you gonna do, man? You're not gonna change those people. Big O, who is your favorite actor or actress of all time? Oh, that's a good one, man. That's a really good one. My favorite actor of all time. Wow, that's tough because it's Nicholson, Pacino. Oh man, Denzel. Um, that's tough. Of just one. Wow, that's really tough. You know what? I'll go with Pacino, man. I'll go with Pacino. If I have to lean to one guy, I'll go Al Pacino. Okay. That'll be the guy. But it's tough, man. It's tough. Tom Hanks is really good. Really enjoyed Tom Hanks movies. Steven Seagal. There you go. There you go. Nico Toscani, baby. That's my favorite actor of all time right there. You want acting? You want Steven Seagal. Yeah. On the female side, Glenn Close is freaking amazing. Let's see. Who else do I love as a female actress? Who do I put in the Glenn Close category. I don't know. It might be Glenn Close. Might be. I mean, I thought Demi Moore was on a roll for a while too, that she took on several different roles, but I can't put her in the Glenn Close category, but she was really good for a while. I'm trying to think of, I know I'm forgetting someone that I don't know why, but it's bothering me that I'm forgetting somebody that I really like a lot, like Glenn Close, and put it right up there in the elite category. And I don't know why I'm kind of brain farting right now on that one. Rachel has just been taken off sideline duties for the NBA Finals. For real? Are you serious? I did not know that. Wow. That's not good. All right, let me do this. Let me take a quick break here. When we come back, we're going to talk to Manny Navarro. We will get our Caneswear Miami Hurricanes report with Manny Navarro. We will do that next.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your InterMiamiCF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or intermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
This is the Big O Show.
There's many ways to support our program, from subscribing and liking the show to visiting our terrific sponsors. Another way is using Cash App. If you would like to donate to the show and help us grow, download Cash App and search Cash Big O Show. That's Cash Big O Show. We appreciate your support as we continue to build the best sports show on the planet for South Florida sports fans. Support the Big O Show by using Cash App and donate to Cash Big O Show. Thank you for your incredibly loyal support.
This is the Big O Show.
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
All righty, welcome back. It's a beautiful thing. I don't know why I don't see myself here, but it is time now for our Caneswear Miami Hurricanes report. And Manny Navarro is ready to join us. Although, Manny, I don't see you on the screen. I don't see myself on the screen. Are you there?
I'm here. I can hear you. I just don't see myself on the screen either.
Yeah, that's the weird thing, man. I don't know what the hell's going on here, but I guess I must have done something wrong here or something. I don't know what the hell went on. But yeah, it just
modern technology. We're two older guys, man. What can I tell you? We're veterans in the game. This is all fresh new stuff. People are using these studio things, and it's confusing for me.
Yeah, no, I'm with you there. It's just kind of weird that I am not seeing you or me here on this Canes report. I was on the entire time. The all week we've been on. I never go off the air, and now all of a sudden I'm like, I'm not there. It's kind of weird, man.
It happens. Maybe that's better for the public. I'm not the best looking of guys anyway. So.
Oh no, that's definitely better for the public when you talk about me. That's for sure. I'm glad that I'm not on there, but at least they should be able to see you there. That's the part I don't get, man. That is that's weird, man. All right, well, we'll fix it. We'll figure it out, and we'll get it going here. Okay, I know that I'm messing with stuff here.
No problem.
All right. Oh well. All right. We'll see if we pop up at one point or another here or something. I don't know what the hell's going on. Let's see. I don't know what the hell is this. Okay. All right. I don't know, man. I'm so weird that all of a sudden everything was working just fine. I figured, all right, we got this new frame for it. See, there we go.
There you go. Now we're on there.
Okay, we're on, but now I can't. So I can't put our U report one, which is that one.
Yeah,
so
double screen.
Yeah, it's weird. See, the Dolphin report one doesn't come out either. I don't know why the hell that happens.
Not sure. Maybe it's me. Maybe I'm just bad luck. I don't know what to tell you.
I don't know. All right, so you guys are subject to us here. Unfortunately, you're gonna have to deal with me here and watch me. Anyway, of course, Manny Navarro will join us twice a week now. We'll be talking to him on Tuesdays and on Fridays with our Caneswear Miami Hurricanes report. And don't forget to visit Brett and all the great people at Caneswear, 2511 South University Drive in Davie for all, like it says there, your Canes, fins, and heat needs. Call them 954-835-5597. All right, Manny. So first of all, did you sign up for your $6,000 stipend? I mean, you might as well get a little cash here from American Top Team. You've been covering the team longer than everybody else has been on this team right now. So you got yourself a little cash, dude?
Well, I'm not. I did not get myself any cash. I think the only cash is going to be coming from you, Big O. I think you and I in this partnership here that we're doing 2 times a week, that might be it. But hey, you know what? It's something, right? These guys, yes. the players are always going to get more. They should anyway. Yeah, I spoke to Dan Lambert maybe an hour ago about this project, and really, I mean, $500 a month for every player on the team. Originally, he was just trying to do it for a couple of players, and then he decided, you know what, let's try to get every player paid. Let's try to be the first college football team to get everybody paid. And, look, I don't know how this is going to change anything. That was my number one question to him. How does this change anything in college football? How does this get Miami to be where Clemson and Alabama and Ohio State are? Because to me, those schools are still going to get the best players anyway. But, this is a start, and this is Dan basically trying to get not only everybody paid on the team, but getting other companies to get involved in this as well, to get, more money out to the players. And so his goal right now is just getting Miami to be that first team that gets everybody paid. And maybe that in the long run gets more recruits to come to Miami and gets players to stay, right? I think those are the 2 areas you look at. You say, where do you really win here? It's getting the juniors to come back instead of entering the NFL draft and being a 6th-round pick. And then it's, getting the 4- and 5-star guys to say, you know what? Those guys in Miami, they got their act together. Everybody's getting paid over there. So we'll see. We'll see how it works out. But in the end, we won't have an answer for any of this for a while.
Oh, yeah. This is the Wild Wild West. Nobody knows how this is going to affect and who it's going to benefit. Although I have a guess here. I think small schools are going to get screwed here because they don't have the better. They don't have the better. Right. What's it called? Alumni class. They don't have the kind of sponsors that the big programs have. So I think the Power 5 is actually going to separate themselves even more from other smaller programs. I just feel like Austin Peay will never be able to compete with any of this, unfortunately, because FIU is not going to be able to spend the kind of money that the University of Miami is going to be able to spend, because the University of Miami probably has deeper pockets with their sponsors, not the school base itself, because it's a state school. We know that FIU and FAU has that advantage, but the money's from the outside, from the periphery. It's going to be much stronger from the University of Miami than any of those programs. So that's where I just see the Power 5 kind of separating themselves because of this rule. You agree or disagree?
Yeah, the rich always get richer. Although I will say, I think, you look at programs like UCF, in Orlando or even Houston that are in big cities. I think as long as they're in a big city, even if not a Power 5 team, I think they've got a chance. Maybe San Diego State, being in San Diego, those kind of programs. If there's companies that really want to invest in these kids. You know, the funny thing is when I interviewed Lambert, who's putting this whatever $540,000 deal together to get everybody paid at Miami, you know, we talked about, you know, is this really life-changing money? None of this is. I mean, $500 a month. A lot of these kids are probably going to send that money back to their parents. You know, a lot of the ones that need the money desperately, their families need the money. You know, $500 can make a difference, but life-changing money, it's still only going to be the stars, Big O. It's still only going to be the De'Aaron Kings. You know, if Trevor Lawrence was still around, imagine what he would be, you know, who would be wanting to get their name attached to him with sponsorship and so forth.
Head and shoulders.
Right. I still think it's only going to be the stars that really make any significant life-changing money, you know, where they can really help their families out. The rest of it will be, you know, smaller sort of packages like this. And you know, we'll see. Again, in the long run, I still think the best players go to Alabama, Ohio State, Clemson, because they want to win championships and because they know that, you know, you go to that program, you're going to be a first-round pick. If you're really good, those guys are going to turn you into first-round picks, and that's where the real money is, right? It's in the draft. It's getting drafted high. And right now, you look, you know, you go back and you do the research. You look at all those 247 sports charts, right, of the top 100 players. You go every single year. Where is it? Alabama, Georgia, Clemson. I mean, it's the same schools. They get 75, 80% of those guys. So that's why they're winning championships. I don't think anything is going to change. Even the 12-team playoff, right? We're trying to, you know, hey, let's put 12 teams in the playoffs and see how that changes things. I still think the best players are going to go to the best schools.
And we're talking with Manny Navarro, of course, our Caneswear Miami Hurricanes report. Make sure you follow them on Twitter at Canes_wear. And remember, you can order online at caneswear.com. Orders of $99 and over, you will get free shipping. So make sure you tell Brett that we sent you there at Caneswear. Now, the other thing, you know, a lot of people are thinking, well, Miami's going to kill this. This is going to help them. I don't think this makes a damn bit of difference on the field, Manny. The guy that's going to make the difference is going to be Manny Diaz, not Manny Navarro, Manny Diaz. It's his responsibility to make these players great, to make his team great. What this could do is actually create more distractions, I think, for coaches, because some kids, if they've got $500 or $1,000 in their pocket, they might think that they're living the high life at that moment. And that's the one thing that I could say that this could become, not because of De'Aaron King, because De'Aaron King is going to be the same player whether he has the money or not, because he's wired differently. But we're talking about some of the other kids in every locker room in this country. I think the money could cause a little bit of an issue and make it harder for some coaches too.
Yeah, I think there's no question, especially the guys who, you know, don't want their guys talking to the media or being on social media, right? Remember all those rules that, you know, hey, we don't have anybody on Twitter. We don't have anybody on Instagram because we're a tight-knit team, right? We're not going to let this kind of stuff out.
Exactly.
And the reality is all of these guys, if they're going to make money in this business, they got to be involved in social media. They got to go out and make appearances. And you're right. I think the distraction is definitely going to be there, especially for the guys who go to college, which I don't want to say all of them, because a lot of them do want to get a free education and try to help their family. They know they're not going to be NFL players, but they're going to college to try to make their lives better. But I still think a lot of them are like, hey, any way, shape, or form that I can get paid, I want to take advantage of it. And I think what you're going to see now is guys maybe going the extra mile to sell themselves to a company, right? Being a little bit more outlandish, getting, you know, the wild guys, so to speak, so that they get that attention and get people to start following them and so forth. So, you know, you mentioned a guy like De'Aaron King. He's a really responsible person, right? He wants his teammates to get paid as well. He's a different cat. You know, he's in his 7th year. He's not even going to class anymore, right? He doesn't have to. He graduated a long time ago. Right. So he has the flexibility to go and be Mr. Appearance and sign autographs and do all this stuff. But what about the 2nd and 3rd year players or the freshmen who just come in and you need them in class and you need them concentrated? That's where all of this, to me, is going to become a huge issue. And it's going to be interesting to see how the Nick Sabans and Manny Diaz's and everybody else sort of handle this, because now these guys have the right to make money. They have the right to sell their name, image, and likeness. Is Manny Diaz still going to be able to tell his player, hey, I'm sorry, you can't go out to the wharf this weekend. We need you concentrating on football, or, you know, where does that become an issue? That's the gray area in all of this. And then also the NCAA, right? They're obviously allowing all this, but they're going to sort of review everything that sort of happens here. What new rules are they going to put in place here in the years to come to try to curtail some of maybe the illegal behavior that they're afraid is going to happen. So it'll be interesting to see here what happens in the months and years ahead with NIL.
Yeah. And do you think, is there any chance this ever gets reversed, or because it's laws in states, there's no shot? Because it looks to me like the NCAA is at a point now where they are completely losing power of what's going on in college sports.
Yeah, I don't think this ever goes back. I think the issue becomes, how do they police it? Right? How do they sort of enact whatever rules they do decide to put in place? How do they go after kids who are, or boosters that are paying kids to go to school before they even sign with a program? How do they go after the people who aren't following the rules that are in place? I don't think there's any way.
NFL agents are now recruiting players openly now, for years now, because if they're cutting deals for them as freshmen and sophomores and juniors, well, then they're setting up the groundwork for them to become their clients when it's all said and done too. I mean, we have opened it up for agents now to openly recruit these players, whether they say it is or not, but that's what's going on.
Right. Everybody's signing. I mean, you look at a guy like Don Chaney Jr., right? He just finished signing with first round management run by Malikawa. And he's played 1 year at Miami, and he's already under a deal with an agent here just for marketing, quote unquote, marketing purposes. But, more likely than not, he's going to be sticking with him up until the moment he gets drafted, right? I mean, this is just the way things work. So, yeah, it's very, very interesting. The agent world has completely infiltrated college football officially now, right? And it's allowed to happen. And I just expect it to get crazier and crazier and crazier. And if I'm one of those agents and I'm signing some of these kids, and I want to make money off them, I'm going to push them to do all the things the coaches don't want them to do. In terms of being that loud, boisterous guy who gets the contract with whatever company, to get paid for social media and to get paid for appearances. So it's going to be a clash here between agents and college coaches, whereas before it was really NFL coaches and agents. And so this whole thing, man, like you said, the Wild West, we have no idea where it's going to go. We just know it's going to be crazy.
All right. Where is De'Aaron King in his rehab? Because Manny, I still find it freaking crazy that kid is going to take on Alabama in week 1. I just have a hard time comprehending that. Plus, there's also a part of me, Manny, that just finds that to be an incredible risk too with that young man, because if you lose him early on, then, with everything else is so untested and unproven that you have no idea where that season could go. And we're hoping, after the Alabama game, we're hoping that this is a pretty good season, that you can put together, several wins in this season. I don't expect him to beat Alabama, but everything else on the table, you got a shot at pretty much.
Yeah. I get the cautiousness or whatever that you have towards De'Aaron coming back so quickly, but from talking to
he's a running quarterback too, by the way.
No, it's totally valid, certainly. But from talking to a lot of these athletes here over the last few months since the end of the season, guys who have come back from ACL injuries, including Amari Rodgers from Clemson, who a receiver who I think he was a second or third round pick here in April. He's a guy who came back, I think, in 6 months from a torn ACL and was in a game less than 6 months later. Obviously, it's a different position, receiver and quarterback. You get hit by defensive linemen. Most receivers are getting hit by cornerbacks and safeties. It's a different kind of deal. But, he talked about how, the training, the intensity of it. I know De'Aaron does all that stuff in terms of the rehab and everything that's necessary to get his body to where it is. And let's face it, Miami, Manny Diaz, in my conversation with him a couple months ago, he wants him to be there for game 1, and he really thinks he's going to be able to. So it's 9 months removed essentially from the injury. And, is it a full year? No, but they're confident that he's going to be able to do it because other athletes have done it. Other athletes like Amari Rodgers have come back faster in recent years. And I guess they're trusting their doctors. Now, I will say this, though, even if he gets hurt or he gets knocked out, this is the best quarterback room Miami has had in years. And I know these guys are freshmen. I know Tyler Van Dyke is a freshman. I know Jake Garcia is a freshman. But those dudes look quite a bit different than the other freshman quarterbacks that Miami's had here in recent years. To me, those are guys that you could start against other teams in the ACC and have a chance to beat. You probably won't beat Alabama with those guys. You probably won't beat Alabama with De'Aaron King. But I still think if something were to happen to De'Aaron King, I wouldn't say this is a completely lost season for Miami because they've got two young quarterbacks who are really, really good.
I know, but they're young. You just said the key word. That's my problem. That, I get it. I saw Bernie Kosar as a young quarterback take it all the way. I saw what's the kid that was started against Virginia Tech and
Michael Vick. You're talking
Dorsey started
right
from the get-go and did very well overall. So I know some young guys can translate and play quickly overall. I'm with you there. It's just I hate to put those kind of pressures or expectations on those kind of young guys. I want King to do it because, damn, he's got all the experience. And obviously it's his last year. I want the young man to finish out his year and not be injured. You know what I'm saying? So it's just I think my mind, Manny, still has to adjust that athletes are coming back even faster than ever nowadays. They're recovering a lot faster than they used to, and that medicine is allowing them to do these kind of things. And I guess that's kind of my adjustment right now. Hey, look at Tua. That would have never happened 5-10 years ago, that he would have had a surgery in late November, and by September he's on an NFL field. That would have never happened years ago. So I guess it's just one of those things that I'm programmed that it normally takes a little longer to recover, whereas right now it looks like they're recovering a lot faster than they used to.
Yeah, there's no doubt. And Amari Rodgers, I asked him, I said, when you came back for Clemson, and I think he played in maybe their second game of the season. That's how quickly he came back. He had torn his ACL in spring football, literally came back five and a half months later to play in his first game. And I asked him, I said, well, where were you at percentage-wise, in terms of how you felt? And he said he was about 75, 80% of what he thought he could be. And it took him a month or two to really get back to feeling as fast and as confident in the knee as he, is now. But, again, different position, get hit by different guys. He doesn't have 300-pound guys bearing down on him, right? De'Aaron King will. So we'll see. We'll see what happens the first time De'Aaron King gets hit. We'll see what happens the first time, he scrambles out of the pocket and decides to run downfield. How is he going to treat that knee? Is he going to slide, or the coach is going to encourage him to just run out of bounds? I just sense that De'Aaron, being the kind of player that he is and his mentality, he is a home run guy all the time. He wants the big play. He wants the touchdown. So I don't see him playing conservative at all. I think he comes out game one and plays, full speed the way that De'Aaron knows how to play.
Manny Navarro, you can follow him on Twitter, by the way, at Manny_Navarro, and you can catch his work there at The Athletic. And more importantly, you can catch him here every Tuesday and Fridays at 12:30 with our Caneswear Miami Hurricanes report. All right, the subject that we get some grown-ass men getting excited about kids signing. What's the latest on the recruiting side? Because there's been some good news, and then there's some other news where they missed out on certain guys. What's the latest?
Yeah, here's what I would tell everybody who's into recruiting in the first week of July. Chill out. There's a long way to go before December 15th and before guys sign. And so I know, we all look at the rankings, right? We say, okay, how many commitments does Miami have? Where are they ranked? They're ranked 75th or whatever the hell they're ranked now. I wouldn't panic over this. Talking to the staff, talking to the people in the recruiting department, their goal with this class, especially in light that they've signed a boatload of freshmen the last 2 years who aren't even, they're going to be most of them are going to be in backup roles here, even this coming season. This recruiting class is viewed as the cherry on top, right? They're going after the big name kids. They're not just signing a 3-star kid or a 2-star kid to say, oh, we got this kid committed. Manny Diaz is serious when he says he wants the best of the best. And so a lot of the best players, this, you got to fight for them all the way right up until the end. And so right now, that's why Miami only has 3 commitments, but they feel good about a lot of the guys that they're going after. Now, look, the one guy who they thought that they were going to get over the weekend, Zane Durant, a defensive lineman out of Orlando, Lake Nona, 4-star defensive lineman kid, he committed to Penn State. He picked Penn State over Miami, but Miami thought they were going to get him. So, yes, is that a loss? Yes. But Jacoby Spells, the 4-star cornerback out of Plantation American Heritage, he was, a player that they hosted, that they liked, but he wasn't one of their top 3 or 4 targets. He's kind of a little bit lower on the board. He ends up picking West Virginia. So those were 2 losses for Miami on the 4th of July. But, I'll put it to this way. I asked, to get a reaction. Hey, guys, what do you think? They're like, next man on the board. They don't view a lot of these kids as, game-changing, school-changing recruits. A lot of these 4- and 3-star kids, in the eyes of the coaches, they're very similar, And so it's like, hey, who do we have the best relationship with? Can we get this kid in here? We like his attitude. We like his work ethic. And if they can't get that kid because he picks another school or because maybe the kid likes the depth chart at another school better, they just move on and they're like, hey, we're going to coach the next guy up. And that's the attitude that Manny Diaz's staff has with a lot of these kids. So this week, it's Demario Tolan, a 4-star linebacker out of Orlando, Dr. Phillips. He's going to announce on Thursday. It's either going to be LSU, Clemson, or Miami. And then Fort Myers, Bishop Verot cornerback Chris Graves. He's a 4-star cornerback. He's announcing Friday. His distant cousin, is Malik Curtis, who signed with Miami last year. Looks like LSU is Miami's biggest competition. So that's what's going to happen this week between Thursday and Friday. Those are the 2 guys to keep an eye on. But again, it's July. It's the first week of July. And really, Manny Diaz and his staff, they're confident that they're going to have a good season and that a lot of the big-time kids that they're after are going to want to play for Miami by the end of the season. And so if it doesn't happen, if they have a bad season, then you know what? You circle back to those 3-star kids who are committed to other teams that, like Florida State, for instance, who's, celebrating like they've won the national championship in recruiting on July 5th. And once FSU goes 5-5 or 6-6 or whatever the hell they do, Miami feels like they're going to be able to turn around and pluck a lot of those kids away if they need to. So I wouldn't worry if you're a Miami fan. I think they win 9-10 games this year, have a good season, get to the ACC championship game if they can pull the upset at North Carolina, and I think they sign a top 20 recruiting class, and that's it. And we move on to next year.
Are you concerned that Manny is going to worry more about the defense this year and has to coach it up, or do you think that ends up becoming a positive for this team?
I think what happened, Manny has always had his fingers involved in Miami's defense one way or the other. He's always been in the meetings. He coaches the defense at practice. His coordinator left for LSU. And, it was one of those decisions that ultimately Manny wanted the defense to get back to being a little bit more aggressive. And I wrote a big article about this for The Athletic, about how Miami blitzed a lot less. They played a lot more zone coverage. I think personnel dictated a lot of that. I think Manny feels like, as far as the play calling on game day, he wants to be more aggressive and blitz more and play more man-to-man and trust the corners. But now, look, he's got better personnel. He's got the kid Tyreek Stevenson out of Georgia, who's going to be their top cornerback, the transfer that came in. He's got another kid who came in, DeAndre Johnson out of Tennessee, who's coming in to help replace Jalen Phillips in that pass rush. So, I think he's going to be able to play more of the style that he wants to play this coming season. And I think in the long run, I think he will review at the end of the season whether or not he needs a coordinator to go back to concentrating more on being the head coach. But for right now, he doesn't think it's going to be a problem because he trusts Rhett Lashley. He knows, hey, you know what? Sure. He's going to handle the offense. I don't need to stick my beak in there. I can be the guy who makes sure that we go back to playing the defense we want to play, and that's it.
The part where let's go to reality. He may have to find 2 coordinators next year.
Yes,
because Lashley's going to haul ass and take a job somewhere, and then will he decide to then be now? If he has success and they get back on track defensively, I doubt he moves, right? Because if it's not broken, why fix it? But he will have to find somebody in the Lashley class that he can trust like Rhett, which is not going to be easy because there's a good chance you're probably giving somebody the job that they've never done it before. And, you're elevating a receivers or a running backs coach or something like that. So that'll be the challenge for him also. I mean, this year, when you look at the season for Manny, how important for you is it that he shows the Canes Nation that he is a difference maker as a head coach? Because at one point or another, we got to start seeing that. You know what I'm saying? We have not seen that in his first couple of years.
Yeah, I mean, look, they were 8-1, and they were having a really good season, I thought. And even with everything going on with COVID, I thought the wins at NC State, the come from behind win at Virginia Tech, all those things were impressive. And then they fell apart against North Carolina and got embarrassed. And then the bowl game, they didn't look very good either. I think in some ways, COVID fatigue maybe played a factor. I think, towards the end of the season, I think some of those players from Miami, were already checked out mentally. Certainly Jalen Phillips and those guys were already thinking about the NFL draft. Last year was just a weird year. But I think for this coming season, there's no doubt. I mean, this is the third year of a 4-year contract for Manny Diaz. This is the time when you get renewed or you get fired, right? Going into that last year. So I think for Manny, I think as long as this team wins 9 to 10 games, potentially gets into the ACC title game, I think that's a step forward because they're back in the ACC title game. They're right. Maybe they win the bowl game. They get some good momentum. I think as long as it's a positive season and we're not sitting here saying, man, I can't believe they lost to Duke again, or man, I can't believe Virginia got them. I think as they avoid those, I think he'll get extended and he will be here through at least a few more years. They're going to tag on a few more years onto that contract.
Well, a successful year gets him an extension, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
An unsuccessful year, he comes back on the hot seat, is what you're saying.
Most likely.
They're not going to fire him after this season.
I can't see them doing that either, leaving, whatever money he's left. I mean, I'm sure his buyout isn't that much money, but still, I mean, you're talking about a program that for many, many years has been really cheap, right? I mean, they've operated on a small budget.
So what you're saying, his buy-in was more expensive than his buyout?
Could potentially be.
Had to spend $4 million to buy him in. So,
right.
You know what I'm saying? They had to pay Temple $4 million, right? Wasn't it $4 million that they had to give Temple?
I think it was $4 million. Yes. Yeah. So, I think you're right. I think, in the grand scheme of things, I think Manny Diaz is pretty safe with his job right now. Things would have to completely implode. And then the other thing I would have to say is there'd have to be a good coach who really wants to come to Miami and take this job. And I think the bigger issue, is that I think as much as Miami likes to pound its chest and say, hey, we're the University of Miami, I think there's a lot of head coaches out there that look at that job and say, you know what, the expectations from the fan base, they're in a division, they're in a conference with Clemson, who's a dominant program. I'd love to be the head coach at Miami, but if there's another job out there that's better, I'd rather take that one. And so I think, it's really more about who could you get to replace Manny Diaz versus, how bad a job does he do this year? I think that's the bigger issue.
Well, if we ever get to that point, they've got to follow your theory, because I'm all aboard on your theory that if you unfortunately have to go find another coach, please find an experienced one, man. Please find it, because you nailed it a couple years ago when you were telling me that you got to hire somebody that knows what the hell they're doing here. You can't keep hiring the guy. You got to put the training wheels on. It's just so hard to hit on the right one. You know what I'm saying? Like, look at the Dolphins. They've put the training wheels on so many different guys. Finally, it kind of looks like maybe they hit on the right guy here in Flo. But before that, you had to do it with Cam Cameron, you had to do it with Gase, and you had to do it with Tony Sperano, and it just goes on and on and on. And it was just one failure after another, because it's so hard to pick the guy that had never done it before, but he's the right guy. You know what I'm saying?
And I think the other aspect is you got to hire a guy that understands Miami, that understands the recruiting background here in South Florida, that understands what works. You can't have another Al Golden type who comes in here and tries to turn Miami into a 3-4 scheme when you don't have those kind of defensive linemen and linebackers to play in it, at least in the recruiting base down here in South Florida. That's just not the style that you can play. You got to recruit to what you have here in terms of talent, in terms of what kind of offenses are running the high schools down here, in terms of what kind of players come out of this area year in and year out. So I think it has to be somebody who's familiar with South Florida, it knows how to recruit it, knows the relationships, has good relationships, and can turn things around. But you know what? Manny D is still the head coach. And to be honest with you, I think he's going to have a good year this year, man. I think he's doing things the right way. I think, hiring Rhett Lashley was really, really smart. He hired the right kind of offensive coordinator. And I think he's done a good job with assistants, getting Travaris Robinson, promoting DeMarcus Van Dyke. Those were all really good moves in my mind. So I think that they're headed in the right direction. Now it's a matter of, do you show up on game day against everybody that you're supposed to? And then can you hang with Alabama? Can you beat North Carolina on the road and get yourself to where Miami's supposed to be, which is the ACC championship game every year? One time in 17 years, that's not good. One ACC championship appearance in 17 years, that's really, really crappy. That's where it all has to change. Miami has to show it's a contender.
I mean, between the Dolphins and the Canes, it's like 40 years of bad football. So
it really is.
And I really believe that the Dolphins are finally headed in the right direction with their front office and their head coach. I still don't feel that with the Canes yet, because it just, all the hype has never matched with Manny in the regular season. The off seasons, wow, it's like every off season he's had, it's been terrific. He's done a really good job of addressing the issues, but then they don't make a difference during the regular season. So I'm hoping that he does have that great season. Listen, at one point or another, we're tired of watching one coaching staff after another come through Coral Gables and Davie. It is time now, or shall I say now, Miami Gardens. Right now, I should say Miami Gardens now.
Right.
But, it's just one of those things that we're kind of tired of watching the different coaching staffs. Meanwhile, the Heat, Mickey Harrison, takes over the team and makes the right selection. And one time, that's all, one time in 25 years.
Yeah.
And it's Joe Robbie did it years ago, decades ago, when he made the move for Shula and replacing Wilson, and everything changed for the rest of your life, and it's that magical decision. And that's why, a team like, let's say, the Panthers have also kind of struggled because they haven't gotten the right leadership in place. And it is tough, man. So I am hoping. Before we let you go, what are you working on in the Athletic so folks can check you out, my man?
Well, I'm going to have a story here, an interview with Dan Lambert, who, of course, is doing this NIL thing, getting everybody paid for the Hurricanes. I'm going to have something on that. I'll have one of my mailbags where fans get to send questions in, and I answer those. And then, with Charlotte, my trip to Charlotte is right around the corner for ACC Football Media Days. I'm looking forward to that, man. I'm tired of these Zoom interviews that everything is on. We're going to be able to do stuff in person, get to see these guys, mingle with a lot of different people over there in Charlotte for a couple of days. And so I'm looking forward to all that, man. There'll be plenty of coverage. Recruiting is nonstop. We'll have those announcements later this week. So there's always a lot to read in the Athletic. And I'll tell you, for your listeners, I know I've come on with you in the past, but again, as far as signing up, whatever it is, $5 a month, whatever it is, $6 a month. It's not just college football or Miami Hurricanes coverage. It's everything, man. The NFL, soccer overseas, the NBA. I mean, we've got great staff, and our college football staff, to me, is second to none, man. We got 35, really good college football writers from all over the country, national guys like Stuart Mandel and Bruce Feldman and so many good reporters. So I would encourage you to sign up, not just to read my Hurricanes coverage, but everything else that the Athletic offers.
I agree. I am subscribed to Athletic. I support you and everybody else there at the Athletic. So I am definitely a fan, my brother. And of course, for you Canes fans, not only can you catch them on the Athletic, but you can catch them here exclusively twice a week. And I'm sure we'll be talking to you when you do head to Charlotte. We'll get you live out there from Charlotte to give us the latest. Manny, as always, you're a stud, my brother. Thank you for taking some time. And by the way, I did figure out our board finally. We got our Canes board out there. Thank the Lord.
Job.
Thank you, Manny. I appreciate you, my man. Thank you.
Good talking to you. Take care.
All right, baby. Be good. There you go. Manny Navarro of course, from The Athletic. It's a beautiful thing. Love it. Love it. All right. Oh man, let me see. What do we have here? What do I put? Do I put what do I put as a background now for this show here? This one right here. Is that what we do? Maybe I shouldn't put anything, right? That way we can actually see everything that's back there, like the Eiffel Tower and all that good stuff. I love it. All right. Give me 30 seconds, please. There's many ways to support our program, from subscribing and liking the show to visiting our terrific sponsors. Another way is using Cash App. If you would like to donate to the show and help us grow, download Cash App and search Cash Big O Show. That's Cash Big O Show. We appreciate your support as we continue to build the best sports show on the planet for South Florida sports fans. Support the Big O Show by using Cash App and donate to Cash Big O Show. Thank you for your incredibly loyal support. There we go. You got to raise the volume there in order to talk through the mic. We thank Manny Navarro and, of course, our Caneswear Miami Hurricanes report. Go visit them at 2511 South University Drive in Davie. It has been announced that Rachel Nichols has been pulled from the sidelines of the NBA Finals. So after all of this, after whining and complaining about Maria Taylor, you're now going to end up losing your job when it's all said and done. Yeah, I think that's where we're headed. I think eventually she loses her job on the jump. I don't know if it'll be this week or this month. It might be sometime during the offseason, but I think this is not going to sit well because it's going to be a problem from here on out for her. And they end up taking her out, and they put Malika Andrews, which, again, Malika Andrews, very likable, okay? Very impressed with that young lady. Forget the looks, okay? I get it. She's gorgeous, all that stuff. Forget about that. But she has done a really good job of growing in that business, getting information. She delivers it the right way. She sounds great. On top of all of that, and again, like I said, extremely likable. Extremely likable. That's the other thing, that Maria Taylor is also one of those people that she gives you a good vibe when she's on. You know what I'm saying? And I think Malika does the same thing. I think she's kind of grown on a lot of people because she's so young. You know what I mean? And she's been able to handle all of this. So Malika now ends up taking over, and don't be surprised if Maria Taylor and Malika Andrews are the ones that are kind of dominating, and Malika ends up growing and getting more opportunities like she got at the bubble, and then Maria becomes the stud in the studios with the NBA Finals, with the NBA Today, with the jump. Might be her baby down the line when it's all said and done. This is a bad look. Well, I mean, I was telling you that yesterday with Rachel, and there's no way of ESPN to dance around it. It's such a controversy that they didn't, how Rachel starts off with her apology that you never want to be the story. She's become the story. Why? Because of her comments. Her comments have been very hurtful, and this is what we end up getting out of all of this. Kenneth Cleveland, thank you, sir, with a little love on the super chat. He says, good afternoon, Big O. Kenneth Cleveland is live from the Boom Boom Room. The lovely ladies, Hallie, Selma, Sophia, Paige, and Charlize and Beyonce say they miss you in the Boom Boom Room VIP. Oh, definitely want to be there. That's for sure. Somebody, by the way, mentioned, I think it was NorCal, that I didn't mention Holly Berry. I love Holly Berry. As you all know, I'm a big Holly Berry fan. She's a beautiful woman, obviously, and a very good actress. Okay, very good. I don't put her in the Glenn Close category. Probably the notch under Glenn Close. Okay, now somebody brought up Sally Fields. That's a really good one, dude. That's a really good one. I like the Sally Fields one. That one I could go with that one right there. Raging Dolphin Maniac says colleges should establish professional sports degrees instead. There's no guarantee of success in the arts either, and they have degrees for those programs. I mean, listen, man, when it comes to athletes and schooling, it's you're just walking that fine line, as they say. Let's see. Herman says, great work by Manny, as always. Nico says, Manny Navarro is a beast, a Braddock alum. I didn't know he went to Braddock. Let's see. Troy Ortiz says, great interview with Manny. Loved it. Well, we get it twice a week now. And starting in August, you'll get Ira twice a week. You'll have Manny here twice a week. You'll have Omar twice a week. And we'll do more things too. We're not stopping there. Put anything you want on. No, as long as I can see the rockin' Batman. There it is. You can see the rockin' Batman. Now, see when we take out that this corner here, you see how you can now see the Eiffel? That's where I wanted to put the Batman, right there. See? That way it's by the Eiffel Tower. It's right there. Mike Schmidt's about to hit him with a bat over the head. I love that Mike Schmidt figurine or whatever it is that you guys want to call it. That thing is awesome. I love it. Mike Schmidt is my guy. Mrs. Roper from Three's Company. What about Mrs. Horny Roper? Oh, as an actress. Oh, definitely. Greatest ever, right there. She is a great guest, very knowledgeable. Who are we talking about here? Who are we talking about? Are you talking about Alex Winley? She was good, wasn't she? She was very good. I thought she was excellent. Look forward to having Alex on again to talk a little bit about InterMiami. Hopefully we can start talking about something good with InterMiami. Holy crap, it's been terrible, man. Ray says Cage's latest project is a Netflix documentary on the origins of bad words. Oh, I saw it. I saw one of the episodes. It's pretty good. Not great, but it's pretty good. Big O, your favorite intern of all time. You, my brother, of course. Come on. Mel Gibson and Tom Hanks, hands down. Tom Hanks, definitely. My problem with Mel Gibson is he's an anti-Semite, so I can't compartmentalize anymore. I can't. It's like Roger Waters now. Like I don't want to listen to him. I don't want to hear him talk. I'm not going to go to any of his concerts. I'll go see David Gilmour, but I don't want anything to do with Roger Waters. And Mel Gibson has kind of fallen in the same thing. Both are anti-Semites, and that makes me sick to my stomach. So it's hard. But I can't argue with Mel Gibson, the actor, man. I can't. You know what I mean? I get it. I get it. Awesome actor. Awesome actor. What's the name of, the Gladiator. What's his name? That guy's a hell of an actor. And he's been in a ton of movies. What's the name of the guy that played in Gladiator? He is awesome. That's another really good actor that I forgot to mention. Let's see. Rachel's about to retire from ESPN, spend more time with her family. Well, she's going to be forced to retire to spend more time with her family. I don't think she wanted to retire, but she's going to have to retire when it's all said and done. I really like Michael Douglas in the Kominsky theory. Michael Douglas is a hell of an actor. That's a good one also. Michael Douglas has been in a ton of movies. Let's see. What else do we have here on the chat board? When Batman was by the Rush lunchbox, I thought Alex Lifeson was Batman's alter ego for a second. Oh, how long before we hear Rachel is retiring? Soon. She'll be stepping down soon. There's no doubt. ESPN might end up allowing her to do that instead. I think that's a good call. she won't get fired. She'll be allowed to. It's like, hey, Rachel, we got to walk away from this. Unfortunately, we love your work, but this has just become a PR nightmare for us, and we can't have it. Yada yada yada. And she's going to be, forced out the door. I think eventually, because she's now going to have. I mean, I can't imagine what her social media timeline is like. It's kind of like the Ellen thing. Same thing. Same thing. Ellen had to step down eventually because it was such a disaster that she could not recover from it. And I'm sure whether it was sponsors, whether it was the television company, whether it was her guests that she some of them may have soured on her after all the stories that came out. Ellen had to, at one point or another, she had to then decide. And I'm sure the company said, hey, man, listen, we've had a great relationship. You've brought us a lot of success and we appreciate it. But Ellen, we have to part ways. And we don't want to fire you, but we'd like for you to step down and at least, do it on your terms and all that kind of stuff. And I could see them kind of doing the same thing with Rachel Nichols, who's been there a long time and done really good work for them overall. But obviously this here becomes such a nightmare for everybody involved. Because now, remember, you're going to now, you're Rachel Nichols in your comments, you probably also pissed off some sponsors. And so now all of a sudden you may have some sponsors that are in the ear of some of the executives and saying, hey, listen, guys, I got to tell you, this is not a good look. I don't know if I want my sponsorship, my company running on the jump with Rachel Nichols and the bad PR that she's getting and all that. And then it becomes a mess. It's a domino effect. And I think that's the real problem right now for Rachel Nichols, is that this is something that it's just not going to go away. And she's going to be remembered for this for a long time to come. Again, these are resentful comments, dude. They're hateful comments. And they're derogatory to a certain extent because you're not giving Maria Taylor any love as a professional. And you're simply saying she got the job because she's a woman and she's black. And because they needed to, hit that quota, that's the only reason she got the job over Rachel. And then when Rachel says at the end, you're not going to get any, sympathy from me on this one or whatever, that's just more fuel to the fire. That's all you did. Listening here in France, as I normally do, keep up the great shows. That's what Steve says. And don't you love that? I certainly am absolutely amazed at how many people are listening outside of South Florida. I'm coming up with, we're creating more imaging for the show. And as you've noticed already, we've got more imaging, whether it's the stuff that we're framing and the commercial breaks and, all that kind of stuff. And we're adding more stuff and what's it called? One of the now I lost my train of thought that I was just going to tell you. I was just about to say, oh, damn it. I don't even know now what I was going to say. Oh, well, this is what happens. All right, what else do we have? I played for you the Rachel Nichols sound. I played Jalen Rose's daughter, Mariah. Did you guys get to hear Masvidal? Masvidal, remember the Canes now got a boost. All 90 players on the roster are offered $500 monthly if they sign this contract with the American Top Team, up to $6,000 per year per player. So this is over $500,000 that's being committed from American Top Team and Dan Lambert, who's the founder of American Top Team. And he's also a Golden Cane, too, on top of all of that. He's a longtime Golden Cane member. Masvidal works for American Top Team, and Masvidal addressed the Canes getting the stipend.
Hello, everybody. It's your boy Jorge Gamebred Masvidal, Miami's own, Miami native. partnering up with Bring Back the U. We got something very special that we can do for these athletes, and that's help them get to the next level through local businesses or any business. We can sponsor these college athletes now that never in their lifetime have been able to receive these stipends and sponsorships. So now with Bring Back the U, we can sponsor these great athletes, win many championships, get the community together, go forward and do some amazing things. I'm looking forward to all the local businesses reaching out. Let's support these players. Let's help them get to the next level. God bless.
There you go. So Masvidal addressing all of this, which is not surprising. I mean, it's one of the biggest stars in the world when it comes to MMA, and one crazy sumbitch in the ring, man, or in the octagon, as they say. I mean, that flying kick to start that one fight was just absolutely awesome. That was just magical, that thing right there. So good stuff. And again, I have no idea what direction we're going in with this thing. I don't know if this is going to be good for the game in the end or bad for the game, but this is a long time coming. And now you can openly see players take their money and make something off of their likeness, instead of it all being behind the scenes. But in the end, I got to tell you something. I still think that the big schools are the ones, the Power 5 schools are the ones that are going to benefit from this. I think most of these small schools, although I think Manny had a great point, schools like UCF, who aren't necessarily Power 5, but they're really good programs and strong. They got a stadium that they pack on campus. They get great support. The city of Orlando is completely behind UCF. So you're going to have sponsors that are going to step up in town and support UCF and support the players. So I can see some of the players at UCF making some money. But in other places like FIU and FAU, I just don't see it being the same kind of benefit. And that's where, if you're deciding between FIU, FAU, and UCF, you probably will go to UCF, because there's a couple of those schools across the country like UCF that aren't necessarily Power 5, but they're kind of that level right under Power 5, and they've got great support, and they've got alumni bases, and they've got great sponsors and all that kind of stuff. And I think that will help those kind of programs. But there's only a few of those kind of programs in this country. Most of the smaller programs, I don't think they're going to benefit from all of this when it's all said and done. Seeing there, ESPN has announced Malika Andrews will replace Rachel Nichols as sideline reporter for the NBA Finals. Nichols will continue to host The Jump and internal strife regarding for her comments about Maria Taylor. Wow. We'll see what happens in the offseason with that one. All right. Oh, we are going to wrap it up here. By the way, Bucks and Suns tonight, 9:00 ABC. I got Suns in this series. I'm going to take the Suns in 6 against the Bucks. It looks like Giannis is doubtful. Who knows if he'll play in this series? And we'll see if Middleton and company and Drew Holiday can carry this Milwaukee team. Look, those guys now get a bigger role, and they become the leaders of this team. And, the two guys that you're going to count on actually to make a real difference night in and night out. So the question is, can Middleton and Drew Holiday step up to the point that they can be the lead dogs of this team? That's going to be really, really interesting overall. All right, let's wrap it up here. We will see you guys tomorrow. Same time, same place, same bat channel. We thank Alex Winley for joining us. We thank Manny Navarro with our Caneswear Miami Hurricanes report. We thank all of you out there, those of you that sent in a super chat. Devin Jordan, man of 1,005 holds. Kenneth Cleveland, thank you all out there as always. We will see you tomorrow, same time, same place, same bat channel. Have a great one.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your InterMiamiCF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or InterMiamiWear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where Inter Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.